Three friends entered the break room at about 12:25 p.m. They all flipped open their containers of food and drinks. "Oh man, I'm so ready for this day to be over," said one friend. "What do you mean? It's already over. I mean, we only have two more hours of work," said the other. "Yeah, well, at least you guys aren't like the other guy that I used to work with." They leaned close. "Wait, what do you mean?" "Well, I'm not supposed to tell you, but I used to work with this guy named Jacob. He was one of those kind guys, always get his work done type of guy, you know. He No one knows what happened to him now. He's just a memory for some people, but some people actually know what happened to him. And I'm one of those guys." They all leaned in close, wanting to know what happened. "Alright, well, it's no your king. I don't have the basis for it. But like I said, he was kind of those guys who would get their work done on time and not complain about anything." "Oh, I hate this guys," one friend said. "Well, I can tell you this. Well, about 1 year ago, yeah, I forgot what it was called, but it was, I think, uh, customer service surprise or something. I don't know. It was kind of like an enterprise kind of company. It was kind of like a nice place to work actually, but uh, they didn't have cubicles. That wouldn't come around for um, another couple of weeks because they didn't have it back then. But they just, anyways. Here's a story. So about 1 year ago, like I said, there was this guy named Jacob. Like I said, he was uh he was kind of a weird guy. He would always walk into the manager's office and say, "Hey, is there anything else I can do?" Uh, the manager would always say no, and he was always proud of Jacob, and just felt like, hey, might be a good guy. Um, he always was, in fact, but he kind of just didn't work as hard as the others, and hadn't really have a reason to. Um, I guess you could actually say he was a bit more of a guy who loved to work where he did, and his desk was always right there, fun to have. And sometimes he would even go as far as taking the work home, and his family hated him for it, but he was dedicated to that job that he had for 12 years. He kind of didn't know what else to do, but he really liked that job. He would do anything to keep it, even if that meant excluding his family from every part of his life. He kind of didn't work any extra hours, but hey, he made a living out of it. Anyway, uh, a new manager came in one day, and he piled the biggest report on Jacob's desk. And this guy was from, like, he was ex-Marine, former whatever. Anyways, he was all souped up on like JRTC. He was he was he he was he was he was just awful. He didn't know anything about the products that they sold or anything. But anyways, he didn't live a finger in his life. He didn't move a muscle in his whole life, and he just got to move straight to the front. So finally, Jacob knew what to do. He just kept his mouth shut and didn't say a thing about it. But, the workers just said, we're gonna quit all day. Every single day of every single minute. They would say that, those break room kind of, war tank kind of promises, So finally, the manager thought, how far can I push Jacob, to make him break? Before he break, and so he thought that would be a great idea. He thought, that'd be great. So he did exactly that. Next day, he threw oh my god, he threw a 20-inch paper report on Jacob's desk. And Jacob just looked at it and said, whoa. And he said, look, I need you to do this simple task. I need you to do the budget for this week and next week. And not even that, I need you to do this year's and next year's. Jacob turned around and said, sure thing. Let me get on around that. He started working, and the manager turned away, thinking this would break him. This one thing would break him. I mean, the stack was huge, and no one's ever seen a stack this big before in their life. Because of that, Jacob, that one guy that always is work on that one time he's supposed to, he did alright. And he said, and the manager also said, I need this by noon or you can go home. And 12 o'clock, well, actually, to be accurate, 11:30 rolls around, and 11:30 and 12 rolls around, and the manager walks to Jacob's desk and says, where's that report? Jacob says, hold on one more second, and done. The manager was amazed at what he did, and with that, he sits down at his computer. And to be honest, I don't think that he could have done that on his own. But you know what? No matter what, he always got done with his work. And didn't have to do anything else. He was always right there, ready to do his work, and he didn't complain about it at all. He was just like that. He was just so devoted to that job that he never complained about anything. He was so devoted to it that he wouldn't give it up for anything. But one day, the manager decided that he was gonna amp it up, which was a big mistake. I'll explain why in a little bit. And the thing is, that day, the manager decided he was gonna make him break. So, what do you do? Well, he threw the biggest pile, 3 feet tall, in length, compressed onto Jacob's desk. And the manager said, I don't care how long it takes, but you cannot leave until this is complete and correct. Jacob slowly turned and said, sure thing, I'll get right on it. Turning away, the manager knew that this would be his breaking point, for real. The manager walked back to his desk at the same time, and he said, is that report finished yet? Jacob said, no, it's still underway. And the manager said, okay, that's fine. And he got one break, and that's it. He decided to wait a little bit, even though he was sweaty and his shirt was untucked and his hair was slightly disheveled. He decided to wait. And so when the manager said you can take a break, Jacob said, no, I'm alright. The manager walked away. Then Jacob did the unthinkable. He took $1, placed it in the vending machine, and bought him a big bag of hot Cheetos. He took a whole meal out of those, and he didn't even rinse off his fingers. He kept doing the report. And on the paper were his fingerprints in the seasoning of the Cheetos. It was clear that Jacob had gone insane from the stack. Everything he worked for had gone down the drain. And the manager walked back to his desk and Jacob said it was finished. The manager looked at it. What's on this paper? With that, he broke. Jacob stood up and said straight to the manager's face, you know, I was wondering what would happen and what it would look like if your face was pressed against that concrete over there. The manager got mad at this. Jacob sprung at him and bloodied up his face faster than the speed of light. And he stood over the manager, flipping everything over. He was just yelling, sure thing, sure thing, sure thing, sure thing, until he was shrieking those words over and over again. Jacob had broke. He was gone. He wasn't there anymore. So, what happened? Well, after the manager got away safely, almost, first of all, an ambulance, and he got arrested a week later when he got out. Jacob, on the other hand, he disappeared. No one knew what happened to him. And I mean, that's what I heard. I mean, the news didn't really disclose anything else, but he just disappeared. Complete bullcrap. Like I said. We mean that story is complete bullcrap. That's not what happened at all. And how did you know that? The other friend asked. And he said, this is why. No one knows that I'm missing from the show. Well, they were astounded and confused at what he said. It took a minute for them to realize. But when they figured it out, they gasped. Hey Jake, I need you to do something for me really quick, man. Sure thing. I'll get right on it. They looked at his name tag. Jacob Murphy.